I'm jumping on real quick to talk about something that a lot of you probably are struggling with, and I felt like I would share my experience with you to let you know that you're not in it alone. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am a teacher by trade and by nature, by everything about me. I'm a teacher, and I have taught professionally since 1997. I currently have a business called Teacher Boot Camp and Teacher Boot Camp Parent Edition, where I do consulting and training for teachers and then, of course, parents. I have two kiddos. One is in the McCallum vertical team, and one is in the Northeast Early College High School vertical team. Things are so very different in these vertical teams. And I get that, right? Because every school has its own culture based on, your parents, based on the type of student that you have to meet that need. I get that 100%. But what every school should have, and I'm not saying that my daughter's school doesn't have this, but what every school should have is a kid-centered, purpose-driven mission, right? I've mentioned this to the administration. I've mentioned it to other parents, and I'm really not sure what to do next. So we are virtual. We're going to stay virtual. My son is almost 18, and in January, I'm going to let him decide whether or not he wants to go back. He's actually immunocompromised. He has asthma, but he's also will be an adult in January. He also is a senior. This is his senior year. If he chooses to go back, I'll support him. Of course, we'll have like some silkwood procedures when he comes home because he'll have to be sprayed down with like the scrubbing brushes and stuff or whatever. But I'm not sure how that's going to work. But I'm going to let him make that decision. My 11-year-old, I'm still making all the decisions for her. She'll be 12 in January, but I'll still make all the decisions for her. We will talk about it. We will reason it out. We will see what the district has done. But I'm not even sure if she wants to continue to go to the school. This is not her home school. The school that she attends is not her home school. Her home school is Sadler Means, which I opened that school. I love that school. It is very student focused. I love that school. Plus, how can you go wrong with all women together supporting each other? She loves school. She likes it. She likes going. She likes hanging out. She was really crushed and disappointed at the beginning of this year when she thought the pandemic was going to be over. She's been talking about middle school since the 3rd grade. She told me, because her elementary school had a 6th grade, that she was not going to be attending Maplewood in the 6th grade, that she was going to go to middle school. So she's wanted to do middle school for a while. And she wanted to go to lockers. And even funny, yesterday, she was walking from my office to her bedroom and she had her books. She was like, this reminds me of what it would be like to actually be in the building. Now I'm even more sad. And then she goes, because that means sad now, instead of just saying you're sad. I want her to be at whatever school she wants to be at. I support her in that. Like I told her, if you decided to go to a special program, you were going to have to do the work. It was just that simple. But we are at the point where the work is too much. Let me preface by saying, again, both my kids are virtual. Both my kids made straight A's. That's my neurotypical daughter, right? And then who is in all pre-AP except for math. And then my neuroatypical son, who is on the spectrum and then carrying 3 classes at ACC. My kids made straight A's. So virtual learning is working for them 100%. What is not working is the amount of work that is coming out of that school. My kids are churning out, or my daughter, let me correct that. My daughter is churning out assignments like freaking widgets. She told me today, she goes, I don't like this school. I all we do is crank out work. All we do is assignments. And I have 5 assignments I have to remember when they're due. I don't lean into learned helplessness. I'm all about, hey, you watch your email, you email your teachers, you watch your assignments, I got your backup, I'll check in with you, because she's still 11 years old. She's still just a kid. You know, making an assignment late at this stage when you have not properly trained students, there is a course that they have that she goes to every day for 30 minutes where she's supposed to be learning executive functioning skills and organizational skills. And SEL. They're learning a lot of SEL. Definitely learning a lot of SEL. What they're not learning is how to be in school, right? She never did Blend before this year. Last year in 5th grade, they did Google Classroom. Here is my frustration point. I'm not going to let her quit, right? She's already talking about like not going. That's not going to happen. You said you were going to do this. You have to at least finish your 6th grade year. At the end of your 6th grade year, if you decide that's not for me, that's not what I wanted, that's not what I thought I was signing up for, and now I want to do something different, I'm all about that. You can change at that point. And I will give her more support because now she's feeling stressed out. That's ridiculous for an 11-year-old. I don't care what kind of program you're in. That's ridiculous. The sheer weight of that, combined with being virtual and only seeing kids 3 times a week, because we have a small group that we deal with 3 times a week, is a lot for a kid. I do not understand, and I don't understand it as a teacher. What is the motivation to have kids doing an assignment every day? I don't get that. That's busy work. Of course, I'm a content teacher. Every time I taught a tested subject. I get the need to have things done. But she's in the 6th grade, and she only has 2 tested subjects. And those by far are the most flexible, the most reasonable, and honestly, just really good instructional presenters. I mean, they really are good. I'm not worried about her in either one of those classes. Those teachers are doing a bang up job. So kudos to them. I mean, their blend is on point. They've got videos, they've got real good instructions, they've got excellent communication with me. If I have a question, they're quick to get back to me. But it's the electives that I'm kind of struggling with, because we want kids to be well-rounded. We want kids to have like a good sense of other things other than the 4 core. I get that. But having kids do 2-3 assignments in class, then have them do 2 assignments for homework or a project or whatever. Like maybe that's just the rate and she's not prepared and she's not ready. I get that. But I suspect that is not the case, as I'm hearing from other parents about, I didn't even know that was an assignment. I didn't even know that was due. So how can we fix it? I really, and you guys tell me what you think, I really think at this point, I have to go to each individual teacher and I feel like this is such, like the teacher mom war that's going on inside me is crazy mad right now. Because I'm like, should I go to the teacher and say, hey, what is the reason and the point for you giving them 2-3 assignments in class and then 2-3 assignments for homework? I mean, I get that they're supposed to be learning the material and you want them to be enriched by this, but A, we're in a pandemic. B, virtual is not perfect, nor is in person, but virtual is not a perfect system in which to do this in. And then what's with not giving kids like leeway? If kids are late with something, what's with the like 10 points off, 25 points off? What's with that? What are you trying to teach them? Oh, we're trying to teach them that there's a consequence. Okay, is there a better way? If you listened to my podcast last week, you know how I feel about grades, period, anyway. I don't discount grades. As a teacher, that's foolish. I think there are better ways to show mastery. So for me right now, some teachers are talking out of both sides of their mouth. they're like, oh, the star, bad star. We should definitely be making sure that we're judging kids in other ways. But in their very own classroom, they're basically saying, this is like, yeah, we got to do this way. And that inflexibility is the same inflexibility as TEA. So how are you different? And aren't you a bit hypocritical? So I'm torn. I'm even torn about how much I'll edit out of this, or even if I will say which kid it is at the end of this. I don't know. I'm just like, I care for my kids. And I'm to the point where I'm like, you need to adjust your assignments. I don't want to say it like that, but it's how I feel. So, I mean, if you disagree, you can disagree. You can tell me that you disagree. If you're a teacher and you're like, wow, lady, way to throw us under the bus. That's not my intention. I'm a teacher. I make my living by training teachers. I support teachers. But I'm conflicted when teachers are not student-centered or focused. That's when we kind of part ways. And then I become Mama Bear instead of Miss Hunter, helpful teacher supporter. And I still want to support teachers. I do. It's not that I don't want to support teachers. I'm not sure. I don't understand the inflexibility. I guess that's just what I should say. I do not understand the inflexibility. Like, why not have an assignment in class and then a practice outside of class, right? And have the assignment due like the next day. So if it's an A-B schedule, you give the assignment on A day, have it due before the next A day. So if the assignment is due, say, on October 22nd, give them till October 23rd at 11:59. You don't know what's going on in kids' lives. You don't know what's going on in people's lives. Again, we're in a pandemic. People are unemployed. People are being, made redundant. People are, not getting promotions. They're not getting their 2% increases. All of this is going on. But in education, it's like you can't stop the train. We just seem to be barreling straight ahead for the cliff. I don't know. I have a mom squad, and I can tell you that they are for sure going through the exact same thing that I'm going through. And one of my friends is dealing with all of this and the health of a mother in a facility that, is pretty much locked down because of COVID. I have another friend, she's working full time. Her husband's working full time. And, and then we have these nearly tweens that have all these emotions and hormones going on. So the school is like support, right? It's like the place we're looking for all these things to happen. Man, I don't have any answers for myself, so I definitely don't have answers for other people. I'm experiencing this. I just thought I would share it because if I'm a 20 plus year veteran teacher, I've been running my business for 5 years now, and I'm like torn about like the tone in which to send this email. Of course, I want a partnership with my child's teachers, but I don't feel like anybody's listening. And I don't know that. I just don't feel like anybody's listening. Yeah. Maybe I'll share the email that I finally come up with. I'll post it. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'm gonna have to think about it, craft it. But I'm just I don't have any words. And for me, that's saying something. Man. That's all I got.